Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And today's 5-minute review, I'm reviewing a book that I checked out at the library called Oscar Wars, A History of Hollywood in Gold, Sweat, and Tears by Michael Schulman. Pretty good sized book, almost 500 pages and all. But man, this was such an awesome book if you wanted to learn a little more about Oscar history. It's not about every single Oscar race, of course. That'd be too much, even for the amount that they cover in here. But man, Michael Schulman put a lot of knowledge and a lot of research and information in some of these Oscar races. It starts though with the first Oscars and kind of does a pretty good job of going through how the first Oscars came to be, how they kind of started it, who started it. So it's really good information on how they started and how some of the early Oscar racers went anyways. And it kind of goes through the decades and goes through some of the major drama behind these Oscar races. Anyways, and it picks like kind of a subject matter, it picks like some people and kind of talks about how their journey to Oscar goes. And man, is it informative and entertaining to read, and it's just incredible how much interesting stories there are, and throughout the decades, especially love when he covers like 1969, how film is changing from the 60s and the 70s with movies like Midnight Cowboy coming in, the first X-rated movie to win Best Picture, and how they made that, and how that won the Oscar, and all the movies that was competing against. Also, it covers 1975, I think it is, which is another really cool year. Also in '69, we're seeing like Easy Rider come in, I believe. Just a lot of experimentation in film, and definitely film is going from family films to more risque films, and it's seen they're pushing the limit on what they can do on screen. Like I said, 75 is a really cool Oscar race as well, where we got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. These very like anti-hero type stories, Dog Day Afternoon, Barry Lyndon, but really cool, these different movies that are kind of really changing the Hollywood system, and how they're competing and how it changed. Jaws, Spielberg's first like big blockbuster, came out that year, and it's going up against these more art house movies, and then Spielberg, being a little upset that he didn't really win any awards that year. But then they cover also Spielberg in the 90s a little bit with his win with Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. They go through a whole thing with Harvey Weinstein in here, how he really changed how they campaign, and he really pushed, and really played dirty behind the scenes, to really push his movies for Oscars, and then that really changed the whole campaign of Oscars, where everybody starts to campaign and kind of play dirty, and so a lot of movies win that don't maybe deserve to win, but just they had a great marketing team, a great Oscar campaign team that really pushed, push people out to do interviews and put money in all this stuff anyways. And then sometimes they come out the winner on Oscar night. So it's kind of cool. It really shows like how the best thing about this book is how it shows how the industry has changed over time. Does a really good job with that. Even covers like how race plays into the Oscar races. It has a whole chapter about the first African Americans to win Oscars, like Halle Berry, Sidney Poitier, Hattie McDaniel, and how it affected their careers, and how they got there and all that, and how it's changed over time. And the last chapter, even, it covers it covers like the Oscars so white controversy, how they want to get more, non-white people in front of the camera and behind the camera, getting more nominations for those groups, minority groups. And also covers the debacle of naming La La Land Best Picture, but Moonlight actually won, which I didn't really know behind the scenes of that one. So that was very interesting. But for someone like me who knows a lot about Oscar history, I'm pretty well informed. I still learned a lot from this book, which is pretty cool. And so this is definitely a book I want to buy at some point, but definitely worth a read if you want to learn more about the Oscar history, and the cool battles for the Oscars. I mean, it is a really incredible book. I give it a 5 out of 5. Definitely recommend to anybody.